All right, so boom, here's something that nobody wants to hear. I don't want to hear it. You don't want to hear it. Nobody wants to hear it. The reason you're not successful is because of you. It's not because your car won't start. It's not because X, Y, Z, A, B, C, or your schedule isn't right. It's none of those things. It's because of you. The reason why you're not successful is because of you. And to put it simply, it's really because somewhere along the way, you thought you were bigger than your own plan. And actually, to keep it fairly simple, it's really because somewhere, and this happens to me a lot, somewhere along the way, you were like, okay, I'm bigger than my own program. And that starts you back from maybe not right where you started, but it definitely keeps your progress lower. It keeps your progress from reaching higher. Because you thought right here that you're bigger than the program, and that dropped you back down. And now you're not continuing the line that you thought you were supposed to be doing. So whether we like it or not, the reason that we are not successful is because of us. It's our own fault. Oh man, I'm not successful. Oh. The good thing is, the world isn't over and you're still here. I know that because you're watching this video. So tonight I'm going to challenge you. I'm not going to baby you along, and I'm not going to do this just to hurt you, but I'm doing this because by the end of this video, you will be able to realize the discipline that you've had inside yourself all along, and you'll be able to answer the questions like why you can't do the things that you said you were going to do last night in the morning when you wake up. Because we've all been there, including myself. So let's get into it. So let's start by defining the word program. We can break this up into different things. The program is your system. Program is your standard. Your program overall is how you decided to live. And so here's the premise that this whole video is going to stand on, is nobody is bigger than the program, including yourself. Not her, not him, not me, him, her, bodies. No one's bigger than the program. Point blank, period. And to take it a step further, this universe is running on a program. This universe is mechanical. It is a system. The earth doesn't just, this is the sun, and then we have why stop there? This is the sun, and we have all of the different planets orbiting around the sun. And let's just say, oh yeah, this is us here on Earth. Big E for Earth. The Earth just doesn't decide to be like, you know what? Screw the program. Instead of going around in orbit, we're going to do this. Earth doesn't do that. We do. Earth, the universe, the cosmos follows a program. We know exactly how things are going to play out in a certain given amount of time because Earth follows the program, the laws of the universe. Earth doesn't negotiate with the gravity of the sun. Earth doesn't say, hey, I'm tired of going in a circle. It just has to. Earth is not bigger than the universal program. Earth is not bigger than the universal program. We are not bigger than the programs that we have to define ourselves to get to the person that we want to be. You can see that person. I know you can, because I saw the person that I wanted to be. Aerospace engineer, martial artist, business owner, content guy, motivational guy, a good friend, good son, good brother. All these things are things that I saw myself to be, so I have to put myself in a program of things I will and will not tolerate. We're going to get into that later. So back to the Earth, it's been running on a program for about 4.5 billion years. That is a strict program that it has to run on. How do we apply that to ourselves? Now, let's take a look at you, me, and every person on this earth. We'll say, okay, Sunday, I'm going to start again. I'm going to start a cycle. I'm going to start a program, right? And that program involves waking up at 6 a.m., right? It involves eating healthy. Then Tuesday comes along, and we're like, okay, what if I just wake up at 6:30 a.m. 6:30 a.m. because like I had a long day yesterday. I did a lot of work, but I had a long day. I'm gonna wake up at 6:30 a.m. Then Wednesday it turns to 7. But then we say, okay, I've been eating healthy Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. I deserve a cheat meal. I'm gonna come on. I really need some cookies here. I really want some cookies. That is not the program. That is not the program. You're negotiating. Just how Earth didn't negotiate with the sun to be like, hey, let me not spin around you anymore. When we have a program, we cannot negotiate with that program. It has to be the program. This is an example of how we get away from the program. And once this happens, once you start negotiating with your program, negotiation kills your program. Because at that point, if you're negotiating with the program, you're bigger than the program, or you see yourself at the same level as the program, and therefore the program dies. So this leads us to the uncomfortable question of how many times this week did you say you were going to do something, and then because of an emotion, you decided not to do it anymore, and therefore gave leeway or negotiated with your program? Just ask yourself that question. That is a good self-reflection question, and it will allow you to analyze your habits and figure out where you start negotiating with yourself and what emotions trigger that negotiation. Because that right there, and the reason why I want you to write that down is because that right there is the gap. The gap between what you decided versus what you feel. And that is a lot of where our problems come from. We have a decision, but we feel something else, so we don't follow through with the decision. Let's answer this question together. Why do most people fail? 1, because they only run off of motivation. 2, their plan is only built for their best day. 3, they have no floor, no bottom day version. And 4, they quit after one miss, not being consistent. So let's go over those things. If you're paying attention, that most of those reasons is that gap we were just talking about. So what I said 1 was motivation dependent. 2, best version. 3, they have no floor. And 4, they quit after one miss. So let's think about the emotions that are involved in this. Your motivation dependent. Motivation comes and goes. The saying I like is success loves speed, but consistency loves consciousness. And when you realize that, when you really tap into that, you start to realize that motivation is something that comes and goes. Motivation itself is not consistent. So in order to be successful, you have to have discipline. And that discipline is really just consistency, and you get the consistency through consciousness. So if your program is motivation dependent, whenever you feel a lack of motivation, whenever you feel like you don't want to do something, your plan is going to fall through. You're going to start negotiating with it. So that's taking care of number one. Number two, you're taking on the best version of yourself when you're writing your program, your plan. You're like, okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do 5 things. All that, I'm just going to do those 5 things. Can you do those 5 things? Yes. Will you be able to do those 5 things every day? Probably not, because you're thinking about you operating at your highest level when you need to think about you operating at your average day-to-day level. Because requiring the absolute best from yourself every day is going to be like going to the gym and just maxing out every time. I'm going to hit a PR on Monday, I'm going to hit a PR on Tuesday, I'm going to hit a PR on Wednesday, I'm going to hit a PR on Thursday. Friday, you're not getting up. You're probably not getting up on Tuesday. But this translates to how we have to see our program or system, what we're planning for ourselves to do. You have to think about this, because if you don't, you're going to burn yourself out. You cannot be the best version of yourself 100% of the time. That's debatable. Let me know what you think about that. But anyway, so that takes care of that. We're not trying to hit a PR every day. Best version of yourself. If you don't have a floor, right, you need to know what your bottom line is. If you're trading, if you're dealing with finances, you need to know when you need to get out of the trade. If you go in and you don't know what your bottom line is, if you don't know what your bottom line is, you don't know what you have to do at least. If you say, okay, I'm going to do 100 push-ups every day. Let's take that for example. I'm going to do 100 push-ups every day and at least 50 push-ups a day. That's your bottom line. That at least 50 push-ups a day is for you when you're not the best version of yourself. Now, are you going to do 100 push-ups every day? Yes, you should try to. But when you don't feel like doing those 100 push-ups, your bottom line is the 50. That is your safety net. That is you defining like, okay, hey, I'm not doing the 100 because I got X, Y, and Z going on, but I'm going to follow the rules, the laws of my program and do 50 push-ups. Same thing applies to eating. I didn't eat my fruit today, but I am at least going to drink 4 bottles of water because I didn't do that. I'm following the rules of my program. You have to have a bottom line or a not best version of yourself whenever you're thinking about your program. And the fourth reason that most people fail to stick with their program is because they quit after one miss. I'm gonna be honest. You're gonna do your challenge or you're gonna follow your program, but there's gonna be days where you will miss the target. Like, you will miss the target. But you cannot let that miss stop you from trying again with the right program. Because if you don't try again, that missed day turns into a missed week, which turns into a missed year. I've skipped a month because if you're skipping a whole month on your program, you're probably going to skip several months and then it's going to be turned into a whole year. So you have to have that consistency. Again, speed loves success, but consistency loves consciousness. So in order for you to stay consistent, ask yourself this. This is specifically for number 4. Ask yourself, why? Do you have a good why? If you have a good why, you should be able to be like, man, I gotta get up. Why? Because I got a family I need to take care of. I gotta get up. Why? Because I got debt I want to get. I got debt I want to relieve. I gotta get up and do X, Y, and Z. Why? Because I want to be the most prepared version of myself for this future presentation that I have to give in a month. When you start thinking about things in your why, that's where your consciousness comes from. That's how you tap into your mental, physical, spiritual wind. That's how you get the energy from yourself. Why? Okay, now for the moment that some of you probably skipped to is the moment that we've all been waiting for. Boom, 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 boom. What is a good program? What is a good program? Believe it or not, a good program is not a 47-step plan that you found online that you should be doing every day. A good program is not being nitpicky and be like, oh, I'm only gonna take this route to work. I'm only gonna do this. I'm only going to do this. And I'm gonna cut this all out. A good program is not saying, oh yeah, I'm just gonna become a vegetarian now. A good program is not a drastic change. A good program is small changes that you know you can be consistent with, and then everything else that you do on top of your good program is just out of good faith. A good program is defined in advance for the emotions that you're going to go through. A good program is going to give you 3 wins that you need every day. A good program is going to include a spiritual win, a physical win, and a mental win. A good program is not a $400 body hack that's going to get you looking right in 30 days. You want to look good for the rest of your life, right? So don't fall for these 30-day program, whatever. Those programs, what they do is when you look at something like that, you want to think, can I be consistent in that for the rest of my life? That is what a good program is. What is a system that I want to follow for the rest of my life? What is a system that I want to follow for the rest of my life? That is a good program. And when you think about it like that, you're not going to say a lot of the nitpicky things that you would probably say in like a 14-day like free trial program that you got going on. So I say that all to say is, if you're looking for the perfect system, it's not there. The perfect system is not there. Your system, your program will change for the better in a positive way, but you cannot limit it based off of your emotions. So let's keep it simple here. A good program has a mental win, a physical win, and a spiritual win. So let's start with the mental. And a lot of mistakes are found here because a lot of people think a mental win is doing the research, gathering input, gathering all the things that you are interested about and want to do research about, and try to turn that into a mental win. The mental win is not through input, it is through output. It's what your mind can create, not consume. So when you're thinking about a mental win and how can we consume, or not consume, how can we create with our minds, it starts with turning off the inputs. It starts by turning off the inputs. It starts by making your mind blank. It starts with meditation. It starts with allowing your mind to be itself. And there's something that's called the default mode network that I will not go into right here, but it's something that you should take a look into. It's basically when your mind is in a relaxed, zoning out space, and it's allowed to think. It's allowed to do things. It's allowed to create. And when it does create, you will feel good about these things. And that gives your mind a mental win. So by turning off the inputs, most of our inputs are what? Our phones. So by turning off our phones and allowing ourselves time to meditate, turning off the TV, turning off the music, allowing yourself to just be in the presence of something, praying, talking to God, meditating, that is a mental win. And listen, if you don't know exactly where to start, I do have a mental guide that is in my link in bios on all of my social media platforms. So check that out if you're interested in learning more about meditation and want to use some of my meditation practices. Win number 2, physical. Physical. At least 20 minutes. At very least 20 minutes a day. Studies have shown that 20 minutes a day, a Harvard study just showed that working out about 90 minutes a week prevents a lot of things that cause early deaths. So this is pretty much a no-brainer. Our bodies need to get active. They need to be stretched. They need to be physical. They need to they need to exert themselves into the world. They need the challenge. It helps our muscles grow, it helps us stay strong, and it helps you stay physically fit. Wealth, health is wealth. And this is one of the biggest health things that a lot of people slack on, their physical health. Now, I'm not saying you should be like walking around like this and, chest up and, you got big arms. You look like Mr. Arnold himself, Mr. Olympia, or whoever. I'm not saying you should be like that. I'm saying that you need to challenge your body as well as you challenge your mind to create. When you do challenge your body, studies have also shown that by doing the challenge, especially early in the morning, our bodies and our mind feel like we have, because we did, conquered something. We've pushed through something already. So that makes things that we have to do later on in the day much easier to get through, push through, because hey, I worked out for 20 minutes after I did my meditation for 20 minutes early in the morning. I'm just saying, I'm just a wise guy. Hey. Win number 3, spiritual. Win number 3 is spiritual. I don't care about your religious beliefs. I myself am of a Christian faith, but there's something that comes with prayer and God and something that is bigger than yourself. Whether you pray to the universe, whether you pray to God, whoever that you pray to, you have to have a spiritual win in your life. This is something that will help you stay grounded. It will help you look back and see the discipline that you need, and it really helps you figure out your why in life. Why am I doing these things that are in my plan? Because I want to do X, Y, and Z. This is how you ground yourself. You ground yourself in meditation / prayer. Now, don't get confused. Mental win can come from meditation, but really their mental win is going to be your mind creating something. It's doing something. The meditation is grounding itself, reflection, your why. It allows you to get that joy and make you feel a certain way that is just unlike anything else, in my opinion. If you want to feel like you riding a motorcycle, I can make myself feel like I'm riding a motorcycle. I don't have a motorcycle. It's just that good. Like, the spiritual win is just that good. When you are tapped in to the higher source, it is that good. And let's be honest, when you stop trying to be the center of the universe, when you are a part of something as beautiful as the universe, you get to see that you are part of something that is as beautiful as the universe. Like, come on now. Like, stars, planets, black holes, gravity, Earth. I mean, it looks a lot better than what I drew on the whiteboard like 20 minutes ago. But yeah, it's really cool. So now I'm gonna leave you with this nugget to help you make your plan. Now that you know you're gonna include your mental, your physical, your spiritual win, you have to go through these 5 steps to make a program that works for you. 1, decide what you are going to do. Decide what you're going to do. Not when you're full of energy, not when you're tired, but when you are calm. 2, set the floor. So, setting your floor is the bare minimum. You have your goal that you're going to hit, but what's that minimum? And within that range, that's where you operate. You can't operate above your range too now. So, let's go to 3. Step number 3 is going to be, anchor it to a why. This goes into your spiritual win. Why are you doing these things? Why do you have these goals? Is it something that you can do for the rest of your life? Ask yourself those questions. Step number 4, track it. The best way to be consistent is by tracking your goals, knowing what you did, and the best way to track your goals is going to be through journaling. So find yourself a journal. I actually do have one in my link in my bio, but find yourself a journal and just track your goals. This is the best way to stay consistent with yourself. Mark an X on the days that if you have a calendar, mark an X on the days that you complete all your goals. If you don't hit it, if you don't do everything you wanted to do, for the love of everything, stay consistent. Your spirit will be strong to be like, this is why I'm doing these things, and this is why I'm going to continue to do it. I know I didn't do it today, but I will do it later on. And in order to really challenge yourself, step number 5 is no negotiation. There is no negotiating with your goal, with your plan, with your system. Once it is set, it is set. So take this in mind and do step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Really think about your plan. Don't overcomplicate it. Really oversimplify it, and ask yourself, can I do these things? And ask yourself, most importantly, why am I doing these things? And when you do all of this, you'll have a plan, a system, and a standard that is higher than what you are, because you are not bigger than that program. This is exactly what I am going through and what I am in the process of doing, of getting my 3 wins every day, of making my program. And this is something that has helped me come up with the programs that I'm doing. All right, with that being said, stay wise, and until next time. If you like this video and you want to see more information of me putting these things out like this, you already know what to do. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'm going to keep these videos coming.